Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another live stream today, coming to you here from Madrid, 1934, 7:34 p.m. Mainland Spain time, of course. We know it's 1 hour less down there in the Canaries, and we're going to go through some of the news that has caught my attention today in the press here in Spain, and also some of the chats and also some of the comments that have been left on previous videos. Now, my throat's a bit dodgy today, got a bit of a frog in the old throat, so bear with me. Hopefully I'll be able to get through the whole video without too many voice problems, but we'll see. Now, plenty of activity already in the chat section. We've got Mark coming in from Seville. Hello, Mark. Simpaticism coming in from a drought stricken Andalusia, not looking good, bit concerned, getting scary for the farmers, absolutely down there, I'm sure it is. Still no rain, and unfortunately for a lot of the country, no rain forecast for the next 7 or 8 days or so. Not good news there. Alma coming in from Benihoffar, Ricardo coming in from North London, sunny there today. Watched the live stream with Johnny. Well, the Johnny wasn't a live stream, it was a recorded video. Interesting, and chat about the economy and the devaluation of the pound. Not sure whether the pound is recovering or not. Let's hope that it gets some of its strength back as people put their money into US dollars, obviously, with all of the things going on around the world. What else we got going on? Christine is still trying to get to Valencia. Babs coming in from Wales. Gino coming in with Isabella from Toronto. And Alan still in San Diego, 21 degrees Celsius there today. So getting cooler in San Diego by the look of it. Now we'll go into the first piece of news today, and it's this one here. Hundreds of gig driver jobs under threat in Spain as new rules kick in. Hundreds of ride-hailing app drivers in Barcelona and other Spanish cities could lose their jobs on Saturday when a deadline for new rules covering these services expires. Drivers and fleet owners told Reuters Spain's regional governments were told to issue new rules for private cars transporting passengers hired through mobile platforms such as Uber, Bolt, and local rival Cabify after protests from taxi drivers over unfair competition. Some regions, such as Madrid and Andalusia, are allowing drivers to continue to operate as before, but others, such as Barcelona, introduce more restrictive measures. Some regions failed to act before the deadline, meaning ride-hailing app drivers in those areas can only take passengers on trips between cities rather than within them. So changes happening in some Spanish cities when it comes to getting a ride, especially when it comes to these platforms, for example, Uber, Bolt, and the Spanish one, Cabify, and different cities, Barcelona, as we saw, restricting the way that those companies can operate there. Not so much in Madrid, not so much in Andalusia, because different type of government. Obviously, they favour more competition in the ride-sharing sector, or the ride sector, let's say. But other cities like Barcelona, under pressure from the taxis, the traditional black and yellow Catalonian or Barcelonan taxis, and limiting basically the business model there in those cities of those companies. All right, good. And this is something that's been going on for a long time now. Now we're up to 25 likes currently. I'll just put the little like icon on the screen. So if you haven't hit the like icon, please do so. Just below the video, we'll see if we can get up to 50 likes over the next few minutes, if it is possible. Let's see. Back into the chat section. I'll just get rid of the little like button here. Back into the chat section. Nico coming in from the Delta del Ebro. Jay coming in from Orlando, Florida. Stan coming in from Poland. Hello, Stan. Simon coming in from Milton Keynes. They're in England. Barbara coming in from Playa Flamenco, off to Toledo tomorrow. Have a good trip to Toledo, Barbara. Very busy city is Toledo. I'll just put that comment on the screen here, especially this time of the year when the weather's still good. Lots of people going to places like Toledo, from Madrid especially. What else we got going on here? Jay is looking to relocate to Spain. How's the healthcare industry? I'll put the comment out there, Jay, so people might have more information on that than I do. But private healthcare industry fairly strong in Spain, if that's what you're looking to get into. The private healthcare industry, because the state basically impossible to get into unless you have gone through the system and are a Spanish citizen or have been able to get your qualifications recognized, I would say. All right, good. What else we got going on here? St. Pete to Madrid, Dave. Hope the family is wonderful. Had a great fin de semana, asked Dave. Weather is fantastic. It is indeed, Dave. It is indeed. I hope you are enjoying it too. Jackie coming in from Rota. Miguel coming in from Derbyshire. Finally got that one right, I think. Pat coming in from Galicia, asking if my neighbour's plants are bothering me. The good news, Pat, is that he's cut down a fair few of the old Arithonicas, and the trouble season for me is around February, end of January, early February, I think, when they seem to go into flower. But at the moment, there's no problem there. The voice is a bit dodgy today. I think the cold weather, it changes very quickly. So you're out and about at 5 o'clock and it's 26, 27 degrees. Then at 8 p.m. it's dropped down to 13, 14. Think that's the problem. Change in weather conditions, Pat. I think that is what is affecting my throat. Pat coming in from a sunny Caspe. Tobias coming in. Few more days. How's the old COVID going, Tobias? Over it yet? Let us know. What else we got going on here? And Stephen coming in from Brighton. Hello, Stephen. Second piece of news today. Let's have a look. And it is this one here about Spain's tourism industry. In trouble in the future, as we can see here. Because the EU Green Travel Plan could cost Spain millions of tourists as flights get more expensive. The European Union plans to cut greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% before 2030, could discourage tourists from visiting Spain, according to new estimates. The report from consultancy firm Deloitte looked at the potential impact of the European Commission's Fit for 55 plan on the tourism industry. It predicts that environmental measures like ticket taxes and sustainable aviation fuel could mean the loss of 11 million international tourists to Spain. The country could also lose billions of euros in tourism revenue and 430,000 jobs that rely on the industry. So a fairly frightening headline here from Euronews.travel, saying that these new EU rules and regulations when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, so what's that, 7.5 years away, could cost the Spanish tourism industry, as we saw there, 11 million tourists and potentially billions of euros in revenue. But let's be honest, if these new rules and regulations do come into place and they do cut down on the greenhouse gases, meaning that you can't have the same amount of flights circling around the European Union as there is currently, then obviously it is going to become more expensive to travel. And travel will most likely go back to being a luxury, which only certain people can afford to do, like it was probably back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, before it became, before the low-cost model came in and made travel available to everybody. I think I've mentioned it here on the channel before that when I first started traveling back in the early 1990s, completely different industry back then to what it is now. And again, the European Union, as we saw there, trying to cut back on those emissions, perhaps putting in danger, poniendo en peligro, as they say here, the Spanish tourism industry, or at least part of it, because people that fly into the country obviously might not be able to afford to do so anymore. Time will tell, as I always say. All right, back into the chat section here. Firstly, like icon back on the screen. Please hit it if you can, just below the video. And we'll see if we can get up to what, 60, 70, 80 likes perhaps? We'll see. Back into the chat section, what's happening here? Eileen coming in from County Meath in Ireland. Hello, Eileen. Miguel saying that everyone around us is with COVID at the moment. Still seems to be the issue, Miguel, unfortunately. COVID doesn't want to go away. And put it together this year with the flu. And it's going to be a nasty winter for lots of people, I think, considering what the flu season was like down in Australia. What people have told me happened down there. A very bad flu season. Let's see if we can get COVID under control. D coming in from Poland. Hope you feel better, Stu. Thank you very much for that, D. It's just the throat, nothing more than that at the moment. Don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, but at the moment it's just the throat, so I should be okay, hopefully. Prasen coming in, joining after a long time. Hello from Seattle. Hello, Prasen. What else we got going on? Alan's given me a tip. Gargle with warm water and salt. We'll try it. Alan should have done that before the video. Perhaps if it's an old actor's trick, which is what Alan is saying here. Probably should have done it before, but I'll do it afterwards. Erica coming in from Terrassa on Monday, starting the full timetable, finishing at 9 p.m. We'll try and join on Sundays. Thanks, Erica. But going back to that full timetable, 9 p.m. Very late finish there, Erica. Must be in teaching. Don't know, but if you are, let me know. Grace coming in from Blackpool, UK, and Michael coming in from Wimbledon. Keep up the good work, Stu. Thank you very much. Diablo also coming in from down there in Granada. All right, good. Now, I'm going to change the background as I normally do. I forgot to do it the other day until late in the video, so I'm going to change the backdrop here. I'm going to put somebody's picture on. This one is from Angela, who sent in a picture of Zaragoza. We can see there a nice picture of the Basilica, I think it is there in the background, and also some other monuments there in Zaragoza. And if you haven't been to Zaragoza yet, do yourself a favor, a fantastic city. And this time of the year, September, October, great time to visit a city like Zaragoza before it gets too cold. I went there a few years ago in the middle of winter, and boy, oh boy, was it cold and windy. And the fog didn't lift until about 12 or 1 p.m. because as we can see there, that river, the Ebro River, which is going through the middle of Zaragoza, very, very foggy when it gets cold there. All right, what else we got going on here in the chat section quickly? Ken coming in a little bit late, but here now. And Miguel saying that he tested positive last week. Not a harsh COVID, but not fully recovered yet. So all the best there, Miguel. Hope you get back to 100% soon. All right, third piece of news today. Let's have a look quickly. Veranillo de San Miguel, which is what we're currently experiencing here in Spain. The temperatures we will experience this week before saying goodbye to the heat. They say that after the storm, there is always a calm. On this occasion, literally, because after the cyclone's visit, temperatures are starting to rise again this weekend in Spain. It won't be until Monday when the real heat arrives. The arrival of the San Miguel summer will bring temperatures of up to 38 degrees Celsius in the south of the country and 33 in the centre. Temperatures more typical of August than October, although not all the weather will be summery, as temperatures will occasionally drop. We'll move from a cold air mass at high altitude to subtropical air that will move into the Iberian Peninsula as the week goes on. Saturday night will continue to be cold, which is what happened to me yesterday. But from Sunday onwards, the minimum temperatures will tend to rise. So there we go, the famous Veranillo de San Miguel, the San Miguel summer. San Miguel, of course, if you're not familiar with the Saints' days, was I think was last Friday. Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, don't know, because I'm not really up to speed on the days of the Saints' days. But anyway, it was Thursday or Friday last week, and of course this San Miguel summer, where we get summer-like temperatures this time of the year, quite common. Normally happens, well, it's happened for the last few years at least. You might get a rainy San Miguel, but normally you get a little taste of summer until the cold sets in, which, as we saw there, probably will hit as of next week, around the 12th, 13th of October, which is when the weather normally changes. But yeah, let's try to enjoy the last few days of summer if we can, getting out and about here in Madrid especially, and other parts of central Spain, because as we know, it gets cold. All right, what else we got going on here? Beverly coming in from Terreros, I think that is. Mallorca, Ben and Sarah coming in from Alcudia in Mallorca. Elliot coming in, let's have a look here. Elliot, people have been saying it will be worth pensioners going abroad, as it will be cheaper than paying bills over here, UK that is. Be honest, it sounds correct. Apparently a lot of people I've heard from other European Union countries, Elliot, are planning to do that, head to some of the warmer parts of the country. Obviously, if you come down to the Iberian Peninsula, as they call it, you don't want to be in a place where it's as cold as your hometown. So you'll head to a place like the Canary Islands, maybe to the Levante coast, where you don't need to put the heating on all day. People often say that, oh, it gets cold in Levante, it gets cold in Malaga. Yeah, it does in some parts of Malaga get cold, but in the coastal areas, I don't think you need the heating on during the day. And houses do get cold, but you don't need to have that heating running all the time like you would do in the northern European countries. And exactly, Elliot, people are going to come to Spain and other countries where the weather's better to escape those high energy bills. Absolutely. What else we got going on? Debbie coming in from Barcelona. Flatback got back and now has COVID as well. So it seems that if anything from the chat section here is to go by, lots of people, as Miguel said, have COVID at the moment. What else we got going on? Pat, really enjoyed the menu of the day video that I did. Hope to see more. The plan is to do more, Pat. The plan is to do more. Obviously, there are some logistical challenges involved in doing a video like that. Luckily, the restaurant didn't complain with all of the cameras. I had 3 cameras set up in that restaurant, one on the table and 2 GoPros. They didn't say anything. I blurred most of the most of the heads of other people out, so shouldn't get too many complaints. But logistically, a little bit difficult, Pat. But the idea is to do maybe one every week for the next few weeks, if we can. Depends on Dave, of course. If he's available, let us know, Dave, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more videos like that out and about. Mix it up a little bit, change the content type, because going through the news, let's be honest, Pat, gets a bit depressing. So it's good to get out and about and looking for a cheap, good value menu del dia. So hopefully I'll get out again this week. We'll see. All right, now I'm going to change the background picture again. Let's have a look. Who's next here? We've got this one from Jonathan from coming in, and this is Malaga, I think. I'll just get out of the way because I'm blocking the main part of the picture. So there we go. Obviously a castle down there in Malaga by the looks of it. And look how green it is. Look how green that Malaga countryside is down there. Very, very green city, or at least it has been traditionally. Not sure whether it's a bit dry down there at the moment, but normally quite green in Malaga. All right, we're up to 93 likes. The like icon back on the screen quickly. We'll see if we can get up to 100. So hit the like button if you have not done so already, please, because as you guys know, it keeps me motivated while I go through the live stream. 17-minute mark. What's going on here? Diablo talking about Adeslas. Yeah, can't recommend Adeslas enough. It's a healthcare company. This is a conversation going on between Diablo and somebody. Been a client over 6 years now. Happy with the service. I recently signed on to Adeslas. Haven't got the official confirmation yet, but according to my bank manager, everything is okay. So just waiting for them to start charging me for the monthly service. But I'm also moving on to Adeslas, so I'll let you guys know of my private healthcare experience here in Spain. I've been using the public system for the last 20-something years. Haven't had a problem. Fortunately, I don't get sick too often, but for me, the public system has worked well. But I'm going to give private healthcare a try and see if it is, as Diablo says here, up to scratch. All right, last piece of news today, this one here. Portugal pressures Sanchez with AVE, fast train network, that prioritizes Galicia over Madrid. Can you believe it? It has been warning about it for 2 years, and the decision is firm. Portugal is committed to connect its future high-speed rail network with Galicia to the detriment of Madrid and against the criteria of the Spanish government. In the case there was any doubt, its Prime Minister, Antonio Costa, surrounded his proposal with the solemnity of great occasions. It was this week in the Portuguese capital as at the official presentation of the future line that will run from Lisbon to Porto and from there head north to Vigo, as opposed to the connection between the two capitals that Pedro Sanchez is trying to prioritise. Costa called for the necessary coordination and collaboration with the Spanish authorities, but in a tone of claiming sovereignty. This is not a project to link the Iberian capitals. This is not going to be an island in the whole of our national railway system, and it is not the dissolution of Portugal into a singular peninsula. On the contrary, this is a project that unites Portugal and strengthens the Atlantic front, said Costa. So, there we go. Portugal not interested in connecting a fast train with Madrid because according to them, they will lose sovereignty, or according to Mr. Costa, not very politically popular in Portugal, connecting the two capital cities, Lisbon and Madrid. Spain wants it to happen. Can't understand why it hasn't happened until now, or probably because Extremadura never had a fast train until recently. But it's never really been a priority, I don't think. Spain was more interested in connecting Seville or Cordoba or Malaga rather than connecting with Lisbon, which obviously makes sense. You want to have your country up and running with a fast train system first. But as we saw there, Portugal not interested. They'd rather run a fast train up the Portuguese coast from Lisbon to Porto to Vigo. And then if you want to come to Madrid on a fast train, you hop on the fast train. Well, I think there's one now in Galicia. Not sure if it goes to Vigo, but you probably have to try to connect up again there somewhere. But Portugal throwing Mr. Sanchez's plan for an Iberian high-speed rail link between Lisbon and Madrid out the window. So there we go. And Portugal worried that if they did get a fast rail, that maybe Portugal will just dissolve into Spain. I don't know. Hasn't happened yet, but that also is a worry for some Portuguese politicians. Other people in Portugal seem to be quite willing to join, to have Spain and Portugal join up somehow. Other people not. But as we saw there, Mr. Costa not in agreement with Mr. Sanchez when it comes to high-speed rail. So, there we go. Good for the Gallegos if they want to visit Portugal, but not good for the rest of the population, let's say, that the only way really to get to Lisbon is by slow bus or plane, or drive, of course. All right, back into the chat section. What's going on? Iggy coming in from Jaén. Hello, Iggy. Day off today. Hope all is well. Elaine, going back to Halloween, I think we spoke about it the other day. Let's have a look. Do you have special treats for those with allergies in the USA? No. The answer to that is no. I haven't thought of that yet, Elaine. Basically, if people trick or treat, they have to take those things into consideration themselves. So check the packets of the lollies or sweets before they open them. I don't think we've got to that stage yet where we have two separate pumpkins, as you can see here, to have the allergy-free treats. So at least I haven't seen it, but I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I don't think people are aware of it just yet, Elaine. All right, what's going on? Mugger coming in, bit late today, no problem. Arroyo de Mel Banalmálida, Antonio. What else we got going on here? Mugger was cut off live stream because he was watching the Leeds game. What's the score, Mugger? Let us know what the Leeds score is. Erica's got back. She's a language teacher in Terrassa. That's normally the case, isn't it, Erica, that schools finish quite late at 9 p.m., especially those language schools around the place, 9, sometimes even later. Here in Madrid, I know some schools that shut around 10 p.m., so very, very late for those teachers. But then again, of course, a lot of teachers don't start until 5, so it's only a 5-hour day. All right, good. Now, the word of today, the word of the day, or the word for today, let's say, is this one here. Imprescindible, imprescindible. Don't forget to get the th sound in there. Imprescindible. Indispensable. Examples. El agua es un recurso imprescindible. And as Napoleon, I think, once said, el cementerio está lleno de gente imprescindible. So the cemetery's full of people that thought they were indispensable. And of course, water is an indispensable resource, especially with the drought that we have in some parts of the country. So the Spanish word of the day, imprescindible. Imprescindible. A bit difficult to get to get your tongue around, but if you can manage to spit that one out, your Spanish is on the right track, let's say. All right, good. Now, you can send me words if you know a good Spanish word that we can highlight to other viewers in our Spanish word of the day. Please, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Send me it there. You can also send me your background pics as well, like the one that we have in the background here, which I'm going to change now. I'll get on to the third one. So thanks, Angela, for your, Jonathan, for your picture of Malaga. And we'll move on to Marianne's picture of Salamanca. And this is some historical monument, no doubt, there in Salamanca, which is also a city which is well worth a visit in the Castilla, the old Castile here in Spain. Salamanca, well worth a visit if you can. Now, next thing I'll do is just put the little like icon. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so just below. Smash that like button, please. Now, first comment from the other day is this one here from the social media scientist, if I can get that out, Darren from Burgos, the fridge of Spain, in the middle of our Ciudadano celebrations. Also, the San Miguel summer, which we just saw, which is our last blast of heat before the winter. Yes, Darren, very cold Burgos, a very cold city here in Spain. Not far from Madrid, a couple of hours up the highway. Fairly easy to get to from Madrid, very well connected. It's actually become quite an important logistical hub. The last time I went through Burgos, a lot of industrial activity going on there. Of course, because all of the trucks and lorries having to pass through cities like Burgos on their way to Madrid when they come in through France. So, interesting city, famous for its cathedral and also for morcilla. Morcilla, which, if you're not familiar with morcilla, I think it's black sausage, is it, or blood sausage? Black sausage, blood sausage, one of those two. Very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. The morcilla de Burgos. And it separates itself because it has rice in it. It is a black pudding with rice. Very tasty on the barbecue. It has been my experience. All right, what else we got going on here? Prasen hasn't been to Zaragoza, perhaps on the bucket list for the next trip. Maybe in the winter. Yeah, again, it's not bad. It's not a bad time to visit. Just a little bit cold. It's not wet or anything like that. I don't think in Zaragoza. It's quite a dry city, similar to Madrid. Quite dry in winter, but a little bit cold. So make sure you have a good coat, scarf, and gloves. And if you're lacking hair, which is my problem, some type of hat as well. A good idea, Prasen, if you head into that part of the world in the middle of winter. All right, what else we got going on here? 29th is San Miguel, says Miguel. Well, obviously, Miguel, it's your Saints' Day. So obviously, you know the day. Miguel, thank you very much for pointing that one out. Dave saying the warmer temps are fine with him. Thanks, Dave, for that. And Jim coming in from Tarragona, but traveling down to Cartagena. Sounds like it could be a warm week. I think so, Jim. It's going to be a warm next 7 days here in the majority of Spain. Absolutely. Enjoy the trip. All right, next comment today. This one here from Paul. You failed to mention Northern Ireland, which isn't unusual. Last I checked, it was still part of the UK. Now, sorry for that. I think I mentioned the other day that the United Kingdom, I think I mentioned Wales, England and Scotland. But I, as Paul points out here, failed to mention Northern Ireland. And sorry for that if anybody from Northern Ireland was offended by that. But it's something that did slip my mind. Obviously, I was thinking more of the three countries that are joined geographically rather than the one that sits on the top of the Irish Republic. But Paul is right. I did forget to mention it, and I'm sure I'm not the first person that has forgotten to mention Northern Ireland when talking about the United Kingdom. So sorry for that. All right, we move on. What else we got going on here? Miguel, un abrazo desde San Francisco. Same to you, Miguel. Hope all is well. Time for change, helping the granddaughter with some Spanish homework. We'll have to get some more practice in. There we go. Kids learning Spanish. Fantastic. I had the same problem, but with English with my son, trying to get it through his thick skull. All right, what else we got going on? Time for change, talking about the exchange rate there. Mallorca Ben, just a suggestion, use a green screen. Let's have a look at this. Use a green or even white thumbs up icon. Red psychologically is negative, can put people off without even realizing it. Thanks for that, Ben. I'll keep that in mind. I'll change it for the next one if I remember to do so. Thank you very much for that tip. Pro tip, as the young kids say nowadays, on pro tip. What else we got going on here? Leeds versus Aston Villa, 0-0, or 0-0, as they say. Man City, Man United, 6-3. So a bit of a drubbing there for Manchester United against their crosstown rivals, Man City. All right, good. What else we got going on here? Plenty of activity in the chat section, which is good. Gino saying that he loves Salamanca, great lomo and chorizo. Yeah, well, Salamanca is also one of these parts of Spain where they have lots of this Iberian ham, chorizo, salchichon, and the like. They pride themselves on the quality of their small goods, or cold meats, if you like, or I don't know another word for it, sausages and things like that. Cured hams, very, very good quality in Salamanca, of course. Guijuelo is the place. Philip coming in a bit late, doesn't matter, Philip. It doesn't matter if you are late or early, we are always here. And Chris coming in from Alora, I'll see if I can get it right, Alora, down there in El Valle, I think it's the Valle del Sol, they call it. Thank you very much. All right, now, the next comment from the other day, let's have a look. From Ken. Back in the States, so no longer available at 7:30 p.m. Spain time. Occasionally watch the live stream afterwards at 1.5 speed at playback. Love your videos, as I have for 3 years. I'm still convinced life is better in Spain. I was auxiliar de conversación last year at a public elementary school. Great experience. Seriously thinking of moving back to Spain, the Valencian community down there, for permanent retirement if I don't land the job I just interviewed for recently. I'll email you some clips of my beautiful Mediterranean village for your green screen. Thank you very much, Ken. I will wait for those photos. And that's the debate, isn't it? Life is better in Spain or not? That's the question, depending on where you come from, of course. But Ken coming in from the United States, very happy with his work experience here in Spain, working in the Auxiliares de Conversación, and a public school. As the name suggests, they are classroom assistants, and they help the Spanish teachers out with some of the English classes. For example, if a Spanish teacher is giving history in English, or geography in English, or science in English, the Auxiliar de Conversación is there just in case the Spanish teacher, of course, struggles with some of the vocabulary and things like that. So classroom assistant, very popular job here in Spain for young people coming in from Canada, States, Australia, signing up for the Auxiliares. And lots of people use the Auxiliares program as a sort of an entry point to come into Spain, check the country out, get a salary while you're here, find out if you want to live here or not, and take the decision, as Ken is doing there, on which is the best place to live, weighing it up. Of course, both countries have pros and cons, we all know, but some people do find the lifestyle here in Spain very, very attractive, which seems to be Ken's case. All right, very good. What's back? Debbie, life is better in Spain. There we go, reinforcing that point there. Prasen was in Alora last winter. There we go, doing on the way to Caminito del Rey. Love the pueblo. There we go, fantastic. And what else we got going on here? What a brilliant, Eileen saying, what a brilliant cosmopolitan audience we have here. Hope you're feeling better tomorrow. Hopefully I will be feeling better tomorrow, Eileen. My the frog that I have in the throat, hopefully will have jumped to another place, hopefully. But you're right, we do have a very cosmopolitan audience here, people coming in from Spain. We've got some people coming in from the States, people from the UK, other European countries. We had some few people the other day, I think, from India. We had people coming in from Kuwait. So a very international audience, but that's the power of the internet and the power of platforms like this one, YouTube with the ability to live stream. I think I've got the capacity now to live stream to Facebook as well, so I might try that in the future. I think the software that I use has recently updated, which gives me the option to dual stream, if you like. So I might be able to live stream to Facebook as well. So I'll try it out and see what it's like. All right, we'll look at one more comment, which is this one here. I think, this one here from Richard. Finally, news on the digital nomad visa. Been waiting for ages. Now the company I work for has an office in Spain, but it's not a Spanish company. I wonder if that disqualifies me. Not sure, Richard, on the fine details associated with this digital nomad visa. As I said last week or the week before, everything will be released shortly, I imagine, because it's starting to make the press. So that means that somebody is leaking that information out to the press to get it out there, to create interest, I believe, and the fine details, I'm sure, will be known soon. I think we saw the tax brackets, 15% tax for the first few years. I think also something like 20% of your time. I can't remember the exact details, but there are going to be certain conditions involved. But it is going to be a good opportunity for people from especially the United Kingdom to get back into countries like Spain and have visas in countries like Spain, and the other European Union countries that are doing a similar project, like Portugal, for example. I think some of the Baltic countries have a similar offer. So there are lots of countries inside the EU that have something similar. So it's a good opportunity for people, as I said, from outside the European Union to come and work in the European Union if they like. And of course, Spain now, hopefully, as I said, will be official soon, going to make it a lot easier rather than the existing visas, which, let's be honest, I don't think they're the best visas available, the current visas. All right, now we're up to 36 minutes. I'll just go back into the chat section here quickly and see if there's anything that will that catches my attention. What else we got going here? Tobias saying, "Don't cross the streams." Ha ha. Thanks for that one, Tobias. And what else we got going on here? Preston again saying that Alra is his favourite pueblo in Malaga. And Brian coming in from La Marina. Hello, Brian, in the chat section here as well. Joe with a piece of advice: water and tea tree oil. There we go. And Chris replying to Preston saying that Competa is more picturesque, but it's harder to get to. So there we go. Charcuterie, that's it. Selection of cured meats. Thanks for that, Rosemary, for your input there. I say in Australia we normally say small goods. I think when we talk about this type of thing, some people call them cold meats, some people call them deli meats, but charcuterie is the correct word. And hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. All right, good. Now I'm going to cut the live stream short. My voice is starting to, it's getting worse. So I'm going to cut it short. Otherwise, I won't be able to speak tomorrow. So thank you very much for your participation in the chat section especially. Thank you very much for hitting that like button. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you've got a nice picture that you would like shown in the background here, like this one that we have here, of Salamanca, please, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Also some suggestions for word of the day, and we'll go through that, which is a new part of the live stream. So as I said, thank you very much everybody for watching today. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. I'll be back again on Tuesday at the same time, 7:30, 7:35. Just check your notifications for that. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Bye-bye.